Hello there everybody. So today we're going to be looking at a Power Scourge build. It runs the same equipment as our Power Reaper build. The only difference is the trait lines and the gameplay. Being able to switch back and forth will allow us to counter some comps that we have difficulties with if we're playing more push heavy. So we have a Berserker back piece, Valkyrie's accessories. It's supposed to be a Valkyrie's amulet as well, but I don't have one available. Cavalier's rings. Your armor is going to be all Berserkers with the exception of the pants, which are Cavaliers. Durability runes. Axe focus with stamina and energy. The great thing about stamina is it has no internal cooldown, so you can use it over and over and over again. So long as people are dying, your endurance just continues to refill all the way back up to full. And bloodlust and energy on the staff. For our trait lines, we're going to be looking at Spite, which gives us a little bit of extra might whenever we use our Shroud 1. Spiteful Talisman, which gives us 20% reduced recharge on our Axe Focus set, as well as 5% increased damage on boonless foes. So people who are caught in a bubble are going to be hurt really badly by us. It's just a little bit of extra. Death's Embrace, which is nothing. Awaken the Pain is a free extra 250 power, and we lose a little bit of condition damage on it, but that's peachy, you know. Siphon Power, which generates a lot of might very quickly, especially on down people, so you're always going to be running at 25 stacks of might almost every single fight. And Close to Death, which is an extra 20% damage on targets underneath 50% health. For Soul Reaping, we have Gluttony, which is just free extra life force. Soul Marks, which allow our staff marks to be unblockable. That means that this is always going to be a full Condi clear. That's really the big reason for running that. Last Grasp is free protection, free spectral armor. Vital Persistence is a must-have for Scourge builds. That 20% off reduction on each of these is really strong. Strength of Undeath, free 5% damage and a little bit of extra life force. And Death Perception, which can be comboed with both of your wells to make sure that they always hit at 100% crit rate. For Scourge, we have Abrasive Grit, which is some free extra party might. Sand Sage, free extra concentration and expertise. The concentration is kind of nice just for bumping up your might duration. And then Unending Corruption, which means that every time you use your F1 skill, it's going to strip boons from everybody that it hits. Bloody Sand is a free 9% damage reduction. And Sand Savant, which goes without saying, this is always the strongest choice for almost every single Scourge build. Now let's take a look at our staff. We have Necrotic Grasp, Mark of Blood. Both of these are just kind of throwaways. This is your filler if you're in staff. Use Mark of Blood whenever you can. The damage on it's fairly low, but the life force generation is okay, and it allows you to tag more targets. Chill of Lanes can be used on people who are off tag to slow them down and poison them, which makes it harder for them to regain health, which makes it easier for us to pick them off one by one. Putrid Mark is a big damage skill. It usually hits for 6 to 7k, and it removes 3 conditions from you per target that's hit, so a maximum of 15 conditions, which means that you should always use this if you're full on conditions, or if you're all stacked up on them. You can throw this into the middle of their Zerg and it's going to fully cleanse you. Reaper's Mark is great for if somebody is running away from you, or if their Zerg is a little bit split up. You can throw this on people who aren't on their tag. For Axe Focus, again, just a filler. This has fantastic damage on downs and picking people off. So if you see like a Weaver that's running by, you can one-shot them with your Axe 2. Anybody who's down, you can use Axe 2 to cleave them from range. It provides you a little bit of extra life force and does extra damage based on the amount of vulnerability that the target has. Unholy Feast and Unholy Burst is your Axe 3 skill. You want to use this anytime that you're within 600 range of the enemy. It'll allow you to strip 2 boons off of each of the targets hit, and if you're using it and it hits somebody who's below 50% health, it doubles the damage that it does. Reaper's Touch is just kind of a nice long-range skill to use. Can stack regeneration on your team, vulnerability on the enemy team. Spinal Shivers is especially good for getting Spellbreakers. So if you see a spellbreaker that's running towards us, you can use Spinal Shivers on them to strip off all of their boons and chill them. It makes it harder for them to continue to run to us, and it allows us to burst them down before they can get their bubble off. Now looking at your utility skills, Consume Conditions is your second Condi clear. Has a fair amount of healing. Usually in a Zerg fight, if you're using it, you'll get an 8 to 10k heal off. The cast time on it's a little bit long though, so you got to be careful not to get interrupted. Well of Suffering is big damage. This is a shitload of damage. It also stacks vulnerability up on the enemy. And what's interesting is it lasts 6 seconds, as opposed to most wells which only last 5. Trail of Anguish is going to give us group stability and group swiftness, as well as breaking a stun on you. So you want to use this once you've been bombed. If you get caught inside of whatever bomb it is and they have you stuck inside of a grav well, you can use Trail of Anguish, and anybody who's near you also gets stability. And then as you're running out of the grav well, it reapplies stability to people who are running behind you. This can really help your group out. Well of Corruption is a great unblockable well. It converts a boon into a condition on every pulse for every target. So over the course of its five pulses, it will convert 25 boons into conditions, and it'll strip all of the stacks of that boon. So if somebody has 25 might, that's gone. If they have 10 stacks of stability, it's gone. And if you notice again, it has a duration of 5 seconds. This has a duration of 6 seconds, which allow them to combo really strongly with Desert Shroud, which has a 7 pulses and 6-second duration, and Death Perception, which gives you that extra 50% crit chance. Ghastly Breach is something that you use as you're backing away from the group or enemy group. So if they're pushing into us, that's when you want to drop your Ghastly Breach on them as you're running backward. It'll help to strip off some of their boons. Think of it as a ground-targeted well that's right where you are. So next up we have the Scourge mechanic, which is going to be your Manifest Sandshade. It has a recharge time of 30 seconds and a duration of 10 seconds. So you want to be careful about when you drop these. Your F2 has a condition converted into a boon for each target near you and each target that's in your Sandshade. So as you're pushing, this could potentially clean 10 conditions off of your group every 8 seconds. Sand Cascade is a 2.5k barrier for people, again, around you or underneath your shade. You don't want to waste your shade throwing it onto your own party. You always want to use this offensively. You're really missing out on a lot of damage by not doing so. So this is really useful, especially for the people around you. It's just a little bit of extra damage soaking. Garish Pillar is just a fear. Does okay damage as well, so it's always nice to have. And Desert Shroud, which does a lot of damage. It also provides you with a personal barrier, provides you with a lot of might stacks, and it causes your crit rate to increase by 50% while it's active. So for the 6 seconds that this is ticking, it's going to increase your crit rate by 50%. The way that you use this is by firing off a Shade Bomb, which is going to be F1, F5, F2, 3, and 4 in that order as quickly as you can. So it'll look something like this.
Time to do some real damage.
No, I don't have enough life force for it, but it'll fire that off. That's the Desert Shroud animation. And as soon as you hit your F5, you want to immediately drop both of your wells. So we'll see that in the video a little bit later on. And you'll see how effective it is. It's a lot of damage very quickly. If you hit your F5 followed by Well of Suffering, then you're still going to be at 6 seconds. It only has a quarter-second cast time. And then your Well of Corruption has a 5-second duration, so both of your wells should get close to all of their ticks, causing damage at a 50% crit rate increase. The really nice thing about this build is it has all of its damage up front, and it has it immediately. So when you drop that Shade Bomb with your 2 wells, you're talking like in a localized area. So if you push around a corner, let's say if there's an enemy Zerg running through here, if you were to drop your Shade right here, along with both of your wells, all of their people are going to have to run through that pulsing damage, and it really can fuck them up. You're talking like 4k damage a second per target as they're running through it. So if you have a few different Power Scourges all doing the same thing at the same time, then you're going to cripple them. They won't be able to make it through. The damage will be so high that it'll wipe them out before they get a chance to get to you.
Go, 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 push. Double dodge, roll through everything, everything, everything. Full bomb, full purge, full purge, full purge, full purge, full purge. Everything, 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 everything. Now dodge roll left, out of the bomb. Dodge roll left, out of the bomb. Keep purging and keep hitting them hard. Pushing in 3, 2, 1, repush. Repush right now, push through. Together, come on, stab up. Any more stabs? NG stabs, push through. NG's load this shit with some heals. Bomb it right now, preload the heals. Keep bombing, now push. That means get that fucking regen up so you're automatically healing everybody. Guys, push, let's go. Push, push, push. Defense field. Push, 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 push.
No field.
Get it. Hit them hard. Hit them hard. They're fucking gonna die. Oh, good no field. Guys, good purge. Guys, bomb the shit. And are you running the build that gives super speed also? Guys, kill the shit.